Om
Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam Shruti-Smriti-Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Swami Bhagavatada-Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaracharya Badarayana
Sutrabhashyakrito Vande Bhagavantau Punas Punaha Mandasmita Mukham
Mahaniya
Bhojam
Gunarnavam
Madhurabhashinam Shantam Sarvabhutadayaparam Bhaktavatsalyam
Jagadim
Paramananda
Paramananda
Vigraham
Vigraham
Jnanandam
Nananandam
Prapannosmi
Prapannosmi Nirmala
Nirmala
Siddhaye आयातु वरदा देवी अक्षरं ब्रह्म संहितं गायत्रीं छन्दसां मातेदं ब्रह्म जुषस्व मे ओजोऽसि सहोऽसि बलमसि व्राजोऽसि देवानां धामनामासि विश्वमसि विश्वायु सर्वमसि सर्वायुरविभूरों गायत्रीमावाहयामि सावित्रीमावाहयामि सरस्वतीमावाहयामि छन्दर्षीनावाहयामि श्रियम् आवाहयामि गायत्र्या गायत्री छन्दो विश्वामित्र ऋषि सविता देवता अग्निर्मुखम् ब्रह्मा शिरो विष्णुहृदयगुं रुद्रशिखा पृथिवी योनिः प्राणापानव्यानोदान समान सप्राणा श्वेतवर्णा साङ्ख्यायन सगोत्रा गायत्री चतुर्विंशत्यक्षरा त्रिपदा षट्कुक्षि पञ्चशीर्षापनयने विनियोग ॐ भूः ॐ भुवः ॐ सुवः ॐ महः ॐ जनः ॐ तपः ॐ सत्यम् ॐ तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतम् ब्रह्म भूर्भुवस्वरो ॐ चतुर्भिः श्रीकण्ठैः शिवयुवतिभिः पञ्चभिरपि प्रभिन्नाभिः शम्भोः नवभिरपि मूलप्रकृतिभिः चतुश्चत्वारिंशत् वसुदलकलाश्रत्रिवलयत्रिरेकाभिः सार्धम् तव शरणकोणा परिणताः.
So today we will begin the 11th verse in Soundarya Lahari. So the 11th verse is a beautiful verse presenting the Devi as the Sri Chakra. So the Devi is invoked in the Sri Chakra. We have two symbols for the Devi. One is Pratima and the other one is Pratikam. So Pratima and Pratikam are two types of Alambana. Alambana means support. So Pratima is one with distinct features, like human features. So we look at Devi in the form of a human. So Pratima will have all the human features. So every image of the Devi will come under the category of Pratima. And Pratikam is that which doesn't have any distinct features. See, for example, you have got Shivalinga. Shivalingam is Pratikam. Shaligrama of Mahavishnu is Pratikam. Omkara is Pratikam Alambanam. Omkara's Pratikam is Shabdarupa Alambanam. So we know the Devi as a Pratima with human features, human-like features. Now we are invoking the Devi as Pratikam in the form of Sri Chakra. And Sri Chakra is a yantra. So in this shloka, Shankara Bhagavatpada presents the description of Sri Chakra, which symbolizes the Devi, which represents the Devi. Devi is in the form of Sri Chakra. Devi is not Sri Chakram. Devi is Sri Chakram, not that Devi is in Sri Chakram. We need to be very clear here. So Devi is in the form of Sri Chakram. Devi is Sri Chakram and Devi is not in Sri Chakram. So when you look at the human body, see, the human body is a microcosm. So we call it as Pindanda, isn't it? So the human body is an exact replica of Yantra, the Sri Chakra, the Sri Chakra. And what does the human body represent? It represents the divine union of Shiva and Shakti. So we have the consciousness and we have the energy, isn't it? The body has both. So the body represents the Sri Chakra. And when you look at the Sri Chakra has got 9 interlocking triangles, and which also represents the fundamental elements of the human body. So the 9 fundamental elements of the human body. The Sri Chakra also represents the entire universe, right? The entire universe. And the body is part of the universe. So you can say the body is a miniature part of the universe. The body is also the representation of the Samashti. Samashti is divine. The body is the divine representation of the Samashti, the cosmos. So everything is Sri Chakra only. The whole entire universe is Sri Chakra alone. So let us understand the creation a little bit, or the Sri Chakra a little bit. See, when you look at the creation, you know the creation only through words, isn't it? And what is a word? The word, every word has got a sound behind it. See, for example, you take any digit, a numerical digit. Take a numerical digit 9. How do you represent 9? So 9 is written in a certain way in a particular language. And what is that symbol of 9? It represents a sound, correct? It represents a sound. And the symbol is nothing but the expression of the sound. But the expression will vary with the language. See, in Sanskrit, it is Nava. So Nava is written in a different way compared to how Ombattu or 9 is written in Kannada or 9 in English. So the sound will vary according to the expression, correct? Sound will vary according to the expression. However, the concept called 9 will always be the same. Doesn't matter in whatever form you write it, in whatever way you pronounce it. The concept called 9 will never change. It will always remain the same, irrespective of the language, irrespective of the cultures. So a Devata is perceived in this way. See, what is a Devata? A Devata is a concept, is a very, very subtle concept. And the Devata is expressed as sound. And what is the sound? The sound is a mantra. And the mantra has got a form which is called as Yantra. So you got the sound, you got the Devata, which is a subtle aspect. It's a universal aspect. And the Devata has got a sound which is a mantra, and the mantra has got a form which is a Yantra. And the Devata is Sarva Vyapi in a mantra. And that is the reason why a mantra has to be spelt or pronounced in the right way. And if the mantra is said incorrectly, it will impact the Devata. So the mantra will not work if the mantra is not said properly. Because you are addressing the Devata through the mantra. And the Devata is Sarva Vyapi in the mantra. So the Devata of the Sri Chakra, the Devata in Kamakala, is Tripura Sundari. The Kamakala is the innermost inverted triangle in the Sri Chakra. That is Kamakala. So the Devata in Kamakala is Tripura Sundari. And the mantra of this Devata is Panchadashi. It is also called as Panchadashakshari. And her yantra is Sri Chakra. So Devata, mantra, yantra. Devata is Tripura Sundari. The mantra is Panchadashi. And the yantra is Sri Chakra. So the Sri yantra is nothing but a representation of the Panchadashi mantra. So it is a geometrical representation of the Panchadashi mantra. And the Panchadashi mantra is a 15-syllable mantra. And the mantra is in the form of the sound. And the yantra is the physical form. And you also have the human form of the Devi. And what is the human form of the Devi? It is the grossest form, the grossest form. The grossest form is the human form. So the yantra is the physical form. Then you got the mantra. Then you got the concept called the Devata, which is universal. And the Sri Chakra has got number of triangles. So there are 9 interlocking triangles in Sri Chakra. And when they interlock together, they form 43 smaller triangles. So 43 smaller triangles of the Sri Yantra correspond to the structure of the Panchadashi mantra. So Panchadashi mantra is 15 syllables. And there is a 16th one called as Shodashi. So 15 plus 1 equal to 16. And these represent 48 manifestation of the Devi, Lalita, Tripura Sundari. And the Sri Chakra has got 9 layers. And each layer corresponds to the human existence, different levels of human existence. Like from the physical body, to the Sukshma Shariram, to the Karana Shariram, beyond. You know all these layers of existence of an individual, the Jiva. So it corresponds to the physical body, to the subtle body, to the causal bodies. See, there is an Upanishad called Bhava Upanishad. So it talks about a meditation technique where you identify each part of the body with the divine energy of the Shakti, which is present in the Sri Chakra. And while doing that, you transform the body into a temple. See, the human body is Sri Chakra. And the divine energy is in the human body. So you have to identify the divine energies in the body. And there is a process. And it transforms, and you transform the body into a temple. So when you look at the Sri Chakra has got 43 energy manifestations of the Shakti. The Shakti is universal. It is the cosmic Shakti, the universal Shakti. So there are 43 energy manifestations in the human body. And the energies are worshipped in a mantra so that the energies can manifest within the human body in its full potential. And all the energies converge into the Bindu, and the Bindu is the point of realization. So you see the dot in the Sri Chakra, that is the Bindu, that becomes the goal of the sadhaka. So everything converges into the Bindu. So when you look at the Sri Chakra, it has got 3 aspects. The first aspect of Sri Chakra is Rupa. Or say it this way, there is a Rupa aspect of Sri Chakra. There is a Rupa aspect of Sri Chakra. And within the Rupa, there are 3 aspects. So what is the first one? The first one is mantra, which is Trayakshari. Trayakshari. The first mantra. First aspect is Trayakshari, which is a mantra aspect. Trayakshari means 3 syllables. So 3 syllables are placed in the body where the person needs the most. So what does the person want is the question, isn't it? And what do you want to invoke within the person? What Shakti do you want to invoke within the person so that the person can achieve his or her goal? So you place this mantra in that point in the body. 3 syllables. They're placed in the chakras. So there is a process. So the sadhaka will be initiated into this process in terms of what this mantra is and how do you place this mantra in a particular energy point within the body. And that mantra can awaken that part of the Shakti within the person to its full potential. So the Sri Chakra, the Trayakshari mantra, is the sound form of Devi, Lalita, Tripura Sundari. So that is the first aspect of the Rupa, Trayakshari. And the second aspect of the Rupa is Panchadashi. Panchadashi mantra is given to the sadhaka once the sadhaka progresses. Panchadashi is not given in the initial stage. Normally, Trayakshari is given in the initial stage. So the Upasaka dedicates his time for Upasana using the Trayakshari mantra. Once the person reaches a particular stage, the Panchadashi mantra is given by the Guru. And as I said, the Panchadashi mantra has got 15 syllables. It is Trikuta. We'll come to that. And there is a 16 syllable, which is the Shodakshari, which the Guru gives to the sadhaka who is in a very advanced state. The 16th one is very secretive. It is not given to everybody. So that is the second aspect of the Rupa, which is Panchadashi. And when you look at the Sri Chakra, you know Sri Chakra is a physical representation. It is a geometric representation. It is the visual representation of the Panchadashi mantra. And the Panchadashi mantra is a 15-syllable mantra for Devi, Tripura Sundari. And the Sri Chakra is the manifested form of the Panchadashi mantra, which has got 9 interlocking triangles. So the Panchadashi and the Shodakshari, which is the 16 syllables, are the foundation for the Sri Vidya tradition, the foundation for the worship of Lalita Tripura Sundari. So the first aspect is Trayakshari. The second aspect is Panchadashi. And within the Panchadashi is a 15-syllable mantra. So the Shodakshari is the 16th one. So when you look at this mantra, the 16th one, see, you can visualize this way. It is the core pulse of Sri Chakra. The Shodakshari is the core pulse of Sri Chakra. The Sri Chakra is not just a diagram or something which is in a metal form. It represents the cosmic body. And this mantra is the prana which animates the cosmic body. So you can understand the importance of Panchadashi mantra, Shodakshari mantra. It is like the prana for the cosmic body. It animates the entire cosmos. And the Panchadashi mantra is associated with the 15 days of the moon. And the Shodakshari represents the 16th day, which is the full moon, which is Paurnami. So the 16th represents perfection. It represents completion. So in Tantra, the moon is said to have 16 kalas. right from Amavasya to Purnami, the moon, keeps on, you have the waxing phase of the moon, isn't it? So each phase represents a kala. And the full moon represents the complete spectrum of the mind. Complete spectrum of the mind, the complete spectrum of the Shakti, and the full blossoming of the consciousness. So the Devi is unfolding the consciousness. She is unfolding herself. And the complete unfolding happens at the level of the Bindu. And the 16th Kala represents this, the complete unfolding of the consciousness. The 16th represents the totality. So the 16 syllables in Shodashi, which is 15 Panchadashi plus 1, represents the 16 Kalas of the moon. The 16th means everything. See, 16th is everything. All the 15 put together is 16. And the Upasaka receives a momentary glimpse of the Devi on the 16th. It's only visualization. And that is the importance of Panchadashi. And when you look at the Panchadashi mantra, it consists of 3 lines, Trikuta, 3 lines of bijas, and each line is called as a kuta or a group. Kuta means group. And what are these 3 kutas? So the 3 kutas are known as Vak Bhavakuta, Kamarajakuta, Kamarajakuta or Madhyakuta, and Shakti Kuta. So Vak Bhavakuta, Kamarajakuta, or Madhyakuta, and Shakti Kuta. So Vak Bhavakuta represents the Devi Lalita's face. Her face is represented by Vak Bhavakuta. Kamaraja Kota represents the portion between her neck and the hip. And the Shakti Kota represents the portion, everything below the hip is Shakti Kota. And the whole form of the Devi, Lalita, is made of these 3 kotas, Vagbhava Kota, Kamaraja Kota, and Shakti Kota. And it is the representation of Panchadashi mantra, isn't it? And the 3 kotas are actually joined together. The way they are joined and way they are represented, we need to understand. So there is an inverted triangle around the Bindu. The Sri Chakra chart has been given to you. You can go through the Sri Chakra, the chart. And at the same time, we are having this session on every Mondays to go through them in detail. So in this session, my focus is going to be only on the Shloka of Soundarya Lahari. But to understand the Shloka, we need to understand a little bit about Sri Chakra. So I'm spending the first half describing the Sri Chakra. So the mantra will become, the Shloka will become clearer. At the same time, my intention is not to go into details of Sri Chakra. It will take a lot of time. This much if you understand, that is enough to comprehend the Shloka. So if you look at these 3 kotas, the 3 kotas are joined as the 3 kotas are represented as an inverted triangle, and which represents the yoni of the Devi. The creation appears out of her. She gives birth to the creation. And that is the reason this mantra is also very secretive. The Shodashi mantra is very secretive. It is not given to everyone. It's only given to the advanced sadhaka. So when you look at this inverted triangle, the inverted triangle is also known as Kamakala in the Sri Chakra, which represents Devi Tripura Sundari. It is also known as Sarva Siddhi Prada Chakra. So the triangle has got 3 sides, isn't it? So the Vagbhava Kuta is on the right side of the triangle. The Kamaraja Kuta is the upper side of the triangle, and the Shakti Kuta is the left side of the triangle. That's how we need to understand Kamakala. So the Rupa, going back, the Rupa has got 2 aspects. One is the Panchadashi, and the 16th one, which is Shodashi, and the other one is the Trayakshari. So Trayakshari is given to the sadhaka first, and the sadhaka advances to Panchadashi. And the guru will decide when the Panchadashi mantra has to be given to the sadhaka. So this is the first aspect of the Rupa. And the second aspect is Lalita Sahasranama. That is the second aspect. And the Devi is the Karana for the creation and dissolution. Srishti, Laya, Sthiti Karana is the Devi. So in Lalita Sahasranama, the Devi is invoked as everything. The 1000 names of the Devi, what do they signify? It signifies everything about the Devi, everything about the creation. The creation just happens. When she blinks, the creation happens. Destruction happens when she blinks. So the second aspect of the Devi, second aspect of the Rupa is Lalita Sahasranama. There is also the Trishati. Trishati has got 300 names. The 300 names in Trishati are arranged according to the Panchadashi mantra, which is 15 sets. 15 sets of 20. So 15 sets of 20, and each mantra starts with a letter of the Panchadashi. So 15 into 20 equal to 300. So when you recite Trishati, you are actually reciting Panchadashi. So the second aspect of the Devi is Lalita Sahasranama. Second aspect of the Rupa is Lalita Sahasranama. Right? You know what is the first aspect? First aspect is Trayakshari and Panchadashi. The second aspect is of the Rupa is Lalita Sahasranama. And the third aspect of the Rupa is Sri Yantra. And the Sri Yantra is represented either in a three-dimensional form or a two-dimensional form. The three-dimensional form is the Meru, and the two-dimensional form is the flat one, which you would have seen both, isn't it? So the Sri Yantra has 43 triangles, and we have got 43 energy points or energies within us. And what are these energies? The energy to think, energy to create. We rejuvenate ourselves. Without these energies, nothing will be possible. We can't even move a millimeter. So there are 43 energies within us. And there are 43 interlocking triangles in the Sri Chakra. And when all the 43 energies are integrated in the Bindu, the Shivoham is realized. And the Shivoham is the ultimate destination for the sadhaka. It is the ultimate realization. And the 43 energies represents the entire cosmos. And you can also divide the Sri Chakra into three groups of energies, which is Icha, Jnana, and Kriya. The energies of Shiva, you can say. Right? The 43 energies can be grouped into three groups of energies: Icha, Jnana, and Kriya. And through all this, what you realize Shivoham. So when it comes to worship now, how do you worship? How do you worship? So the Devi is worshipped in 4 levels. The first level is the idol or the pratima of the Devi, which we are very used to. It is a 4-dimensional form of the Devi. See, if you look at an idol of the Devi, it will have a length, it will have a breadth, it will have a height. And there is a form, the form of the mother. So you go to a temple, you look at the Shila of the Devi, or you look at the Pratima. So this is one form of worship. This is an idol form of worship. An idol as an idol in the divine form. That's how you look at it. So that is the first level of worship. And the second level of worship is Mahameru. The Mahameru is 3-dimensional. And the third is the Sri Chakra, which is the 2-dimension. And the fourth is the inner meditation. And the inner meditation is 1 dimension. So there is a 4 dimension, which is the Pratima. 3-dimension, which is the Mahameru, 2-dimension, which is the Sri Chakra, the 2-dimensional Sri Chakra, and there is 1 dimension, which is the inner meditation. The idea should be, or the goal of the sadhaka should be, to move beyond all the dimension, and which is the purpose of the meditation. So that's how the Devi is worshipped in 4 levels. And there are 15 Nitya Devis. They are also called as Titi Devis. See, the Panchadashi mantra has got 15 syllables. And there are 15 Nitya Devis. And the Nitya Devis are also known as Titi Devis. Titi means a particular day, isn't it? You got up from Amavasya, you go on. All the days every day is a Titi. Following days of Titi. So the 15 Nitya Devis are also known as Titi Devis. They are nothing but the aspect of Lalita Tripura Sundari. And the Nitya Devis represent the 15 lunar phases of the waxing and the waning moon. Paurnami to Amavasya, Amavasya to Paurnami. And the Nitya Devis reside in the innermost portion of the Sri Chakra. And they represent the 15 syllables of the Pancha Dashakshari mantra. And each of these Nitya Devis, they control a specific energy. And the 16th, the Shodashi, is Maha Tripura Sundari, and she is the supreme ruler of the Nitya Devis. All the Nitya Devis are nothing but an amsa of that Tripura Sundari. And all these 15 letters, syllables of Panchadashi mantra, syllables, are included in the 16th. And the 16th is the Devi, and she is the supreme ruler. So these Nitya Devis are like this assistant energies of the goddess. So before invoking the goddess, you invoke all the Nitya Devis. You invoke the energies of the Nitya Devis. And how do you invoke the energies of the Nitya Devis within you? It depends upon how you are initiated. So the Nitya Devis are positioned almost in the center of Sri Chakra. They're positioned in the 8th Avarana. And in the 8th Avarana, the Devi resides as the Bindu. And that Devi is the ruler of the 15 Nitya Devis, the 15 lunar days or Tithis. She is not only the ruler, she represents the full moon, the 16th phase, which is Shodashakala. Shodashakala. And she is seated in the Bindu, the center of Sri Chakra. And she is known as Mahanitya. Mahanitya means what? Absolute, the total. She encompasses everything. She encompasses all the 15. And she is represented by the 16th, Shodashakala. And she is identified as Shodashi. 16, the full moon, which is considered as Lalita Tripura Sundari herself. So in the Panchadashi, as I said, the sadhaka is initiated in Panchadashi. And how the sadhaka is initiated depends upon the sampradaya. So in Panchadashi, there are different sampradayas. So broadly, 3 sampradayas are important to be known. One is the Kadi Vidya, Hadi Vidya, and Sadi Vidya. So the Guru will initiate the sadhaka, the upasaka into one of them. Either Kadi Vidya, Hadi Vidya, or Sadi Vidya. And the Panchadashi mantra, as I said, which is the 15-syllable mantra, the 15-syllable mantra of Lalita Tripura Sundari is organized into 3 distinct kutas. They got 3 distinct kutas. They're also known as khandas. And they represent the main sampradayas, which are what? Kadi Vidya, Hadi Vidya, Sadi Vidya. So Kadi Vidya starts with Ka, Hadi Vidya starts with Ha, and Sadi Vidya starts with Sa. See, the 15 letters of Panchadashi are same only for all the three sampradayas, but the mantras are slightly rearranged depending upon the sampradaya. So the Kadi Vidya, the Panchadashi mantras in Kadi Vidya will start with Ka. In Hadi Vidya, they will start with Ha. And Sadi Vidya, they will begin with Sa. So that's how the mantras are combined in this way, right? And depending upon how these mantras have been combined, so three sampradayas, three Sri Vidya sampradayas have emerged. Hadi Vidya, Sadi Vidya, and Kadi Vidya. In essence, there is no difference between all these three sampradayas. They represent only that supreme consciousness, that Brahma Vastu, Lalita, Tripura Sundari. So three distinct lineages, sampradayas. So Kadi Vidya was taught by Sri Manmatha. So from Sadashiva to Narayana, Narayana to Hayagriva, Hayagriva to Agastya, Agastya to Shankara Bhagavatpada. These are the gurus of Kadi Vidya. Hadi Vidya is Bhagavati Lopamudra. Lopamudra is a consort of Agastya. So the lineage goes this way, Parameshwara to Parashakti, Parashakti to Lopamudra, and it goes on that way. And the Sadi Vidya Sampradaya is Durvasa Sampradaya. So it goes from Mahadeva to Rudra, Rudra to Durvasa, and it goes on that way. So three types of lineages of Sri Vidya, Kadi Vidya, Hadi Vidya, Sadi Vidya. As I said, for all the sampradayas, the goal is same. Panchadashi is the foundation. And the Panchadashi mantras, the bijas are rearranged in all these three sampradayas in their own way. So there is a purpose. We will not go into details. This much you understand. And the Guru will give you an initiation depending upon which sampradaya the Guru follows. And also based on what the sadhaka wants. See, when you look at this initiation into Sri Vidya, there are householders, people who are in the Grahastha ashrama. They also want to get into Upasana. Then there are sannyasis who want to get into Upasana. So how the sannyasi is initiated into Sri Vidya and how a householder is initiated into Sri Vidya depends. It depends upon what they want. So normally for householder, Srishti Krama is given. Krama means a sequence. Because the householders have got a lot of desires in their lives. Isn't it? The desire of a sannyasi is very different compared to the desire of a householder. So Srishti Krama is given for the householders. In the Srishti Krama, the 15 Nitya Devis are invoked one per day based on the lunar calendar. The first day is that waxing phase of the moon. The first day. That is given as the Srishti Krama for the householders. And this 15 Devis are invoked. And the 16th is available momentarily. The 16th, momentarily. You can hold the Devi only for a moment. And for the sannyasis, Samhara Krama is given. Samhara means for destruction. The sequence of destruction. The process for sannyasis is exactly the opposite process. Because for the householders, it is given in a certain way. The 15 Devis are invoked in a certain way. For the sannyasis, it's exactly opposite. The 15 Devis are invoked in the reverse order. That is Samhara Krama. There is also Sthiti Krama. Sthiti Krama, Devi is invoked as Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. So these are some of the methods the gurus follow based on what the sadhaka wants and how the sadhaka has to be initiated into the Sri Vidya Sampradaya. So in Sri Yantra, all these energies are invoked. And how many energies you invoke is based on your Sampradaya and how person is initiated into the Sampradaya. So in Sri Vidya, It is not necessary to get caught in rituals. The Manasika Puja is more productive. The Manasika Puja is Upasana. Because in rituals, what happens is the rituals are very elaborate, isn't it? It's not easy. We don't want to get caught up in rituals. In rituals, typically, the mind of the person keeps wavering. Many people find it difficult to contain the mind. And at that level, many things persist within the individual. People have got all this emotional imbalances. People are angry, people are jealous, the mind is full of impurities. All those continue to remain. So without Chitta Shuddhi, nothing will work. So Chitta Shuddhi should be the focus of the sadhaka when the sadhaka is performing rituals. That's why I said, it is not necessary. It's not necessary to get caught in the rituals, but the purpose is going to be Chitta Shuddhi. Purpose has to be Chitta Shuddhi. So when now you have an idea of the Sri Yantra, and the Sri Yantra has got 9 enclosures, right? All these 43 triangles are in 9 enclosures, and the 9 enclosures are known as Navavarana. Navavarana. So 43 triangles, and the 43 triangles are surrounded by 3 concentric circles. There are lotus petals. There are two groups of lotus petals, 16 and 8. And there are 3 concentric circles. That's how it is. And it's then beyond the concentric circles, you got a square enclosure. And the square enclosure has got 4 gates. All these make up the Nava Avarana. So 9 layers, 43 triangles, concentric circles, the petals, and the square, the 3-line square, which 4 gates make up the Nava Avarana, on the 9 levels of the Yantra. And what do these 9 levels of the Yantra represent? The 9 levels of the Yantra represents the 9 obstacles for spiritual realization. And these are called as Avarana. Avarana means obstacles. And what are these 9 Avaranas? I will not go through this in the details. It is in a different session. So it starts from Trailokya Mohana Chakra and it goes on. Avarana 1, Avarana 2, Pratama Avarana, Dvitiya Avarana, Tritiya Avarana, Chaturtha Avarana. All this goes on and goes on. And you got the 9th enclosure. The 9th enclosure is the Sarvanandamaya Chakra. So each Avarana also has an associated chakra name. The 9th Avaranam is known as Sarvanandamaya Chakra. And that is the central point or the Bindu, the seat of the Devi Maha Tripura Sundari, Lalita Tripura Sundari. And every Avarana, each Avarana, see there is an Avarana, there is an elaborate Avarana Puja. When people do this Avarana Puja, it takes some 4 to 5 hours to complete. And the people who do it daily. So each Avarana must be worshipped with prescribed mantras. Worshipping the Meru is also very similar. With the Meru will have 9 steps. So the method of worshipping is very, very similar. And there is a Bindu. The Bindu is the ultimate realization. The Bindu is beyond everything. The Bindu is beyond space and time. So the sadhaka meditates and reaches step by step to the Bindu, the Sarvanandamaya Chakra. And that is the aim of the sadhaka. So this much if you understand in Sri Chakra, the shloka will be clear. So in this shloka, the Sri Chakra is expounded. And it is very, very important for the Upasaka to know the Sri Chakra to obtain the grace of the Devi. So 9 interlocking triangles. The 9 interlocking triangles are also known as 9 yonis or 9 dhatus. So parinataha, tava Sharana konaha parinataha. Parinataha means that which is formed, that which has evolved. What has been formed? What has been evolved? Your Tava Sharana Konaha. Tava Sharana Konaha. Sharana Konaha. Sharana Konaha is angles. Angles of the triangle. What are these triangles? Your angles, the triangles are a refuge. Refuge. Refuge for the sadhaka. Your dwelling places for the sadhaka. So Tava Sharana Konaha Parinataha. Chaturbihi Shrikantaihi. Chaturbihi Shrikantaihi. See, when you say Kantaihi is neck. However, Kantaihi is chakras of Shiva. This means Shiva chakras. How many? Chaturbihi. There are 4 Shiva chakras. So when you look at the 9 triangles of Sri Chakra, when they interlock together, they form 43 interlocked triangles. They form 43 triangles. So the 9 triangles can be divided into 4 Shiva chakras and 5 Shakti chakras. Shiva chakras are pointing upwards, the Shakti chakras are pointing downwards. So Chaturbihi Shri Kantaihi. Kantaihi is the chakras of Lord Shiva. Shiva chakras. And how many? Chaturbihi. There are 4 Shiva chakras. Chatvari Shiva chakrani. Chatvari Shiva chakrani. Chaturbihi Shri Kantaihi. The 4 Shiva chakras. Shiva Yuvatibihi Panchabihi. Shiva Yuvatibihi Panchabihi. Yuvati means, what is a Yuvati? Yuvati is a young woman. So here Shiva Yuvati means the Shakti chakras. Shiva Yuvatibi. Shakti chakrani. How many? Panchabihi. 5. So there are 5 Shakti chakras and 4 Shiva chakras. Chaturbihi Shri Kantaihi. Shiva Yuvatibihi Panchabihi. 5 plus 4 equal to 9. 9 Shiva. 9 chakras in total. 9 triangles in total. 4 Shiva chakras and 5 Shakti chakras. Totally 9. Navabihi Navabhirapi. Navabihi Navabhirapi. So Tavasharana Konaihi Parinataha. Chaturbihi Shri Kantaihi. Shiva Yuvatibihi Panchabihi Navabihi Navabhirapi. And Moola Prakritibihi. What is Moola Prakritibihi? Moola Prakritibihi is the building blocks of the universe. The 9 Shiva chakras and 9 Shiva chakras, the 9 chakras, which are 4 Shiva chakras and 5 Shakti chakras, represent the building blocks of the universe, Moola Prakritibihi. So the 9 triangles represents 9 Moola Prakriti, fundamental elements which make up the entire cosmos. And the entire cosmos is reflected in the human body also, because the human body is part of the Samashti. And how is this Moola Prakriti be represented in the body? As skin, as blood, as muscles, as fat, as bone. So there are the Shakti Rupa Moola Dhatus are 5. 5 triangles of Shakti. Shakti Rupa Moola Dhatus, which are Tvak, skin, Asruj. Tvak is skin, Asruj is Rakta Dhatu. Mamsapeshi is muscle. Medas is the fat in the body. And Asti is bone. So these are the 5 representation of the Shakti chakras at the level of the individual. The Shakti Rupa Moola Dhatus, Tvak, Ajrus, Mamsapeshi, Medas and Asti. And the Shiva Rupa Moola Dhatus in the individual is Majja, Shukla, Prana, Jiva. Majja. Majja can also be, Majja means, you can say bone marrow. Shukla. Shukla is that seed, the sperm, the seed. Prana and Jiva. These are the four Shiva Rupa Moola Dhatus. So the individual, that's how the individual brings and visualizes the chakra inside. The body is the Sri Chakra. The cosmos is the Sri Chakra. At the individual level, the body is the Sri Chakra. So Shakti Rupa Moola Dhatu, Shiva Rupa Moola Dhatu. So the entire Shariram is the reflection of Sri Chakra. The Devi as Parashakti is seated in this Shariram. And in Samayachara, this is how the Devi is visualized and meditated upon by the Upasaka in Daharakasha. So this is Pindanda. At the level of Brahmanda, it is Panchabhutas as Shiva Konas. The Panchabhutas as Shakti Konas. So the 5 triangles represent the Panchabhutas at the level of the Samashti. And the four Shiva triangles at the level of Samashti are what? Maya, Sadashiva, Ishvara, Shuddha Vidya. Since you're familiar with tattvas, you know what is all this. So the four Shiva triangles, Shiva chakras are Maya, Sadashiva, Ishvara, and Shuddha Vidya. And all this put together is the entire universe as Sri Chakra, and this is meditated upon to realize the Devi. So Chaturbihi Shri Kantaihi Shiva Yuvatibihi Panchabihi Navabihi Navabirapi Moola Prakratibihi. So in some Shastrams, the Tattvas are described as 25. In certain Shastrams as 36 and even 96. It depends upon how detailed you go. So we discussed the Tattvas in detail in some of our previous sessions. So you can keep that in the perspective to understand this shloka and also to understand the entire creation. And obviously the idea is not to discuss tattvas now, just to bring our attention in the shloka, on the tattvas, so that the shlokas will be clear. So you're familiar with this 36 tattvas. Shuddha Maya, which is Shiva, Shakti, Sadashiva, Ishvara, and Shuddha Vidya.
Shiva.
All this come under Shuddha Maya. So Shiva, Shakti, Sadashiva, Ishvara, Shuddha Maya. All this come under one category. Then there is Ashuddha Maya. In Ashuddha Maya, you got 5 Kanchukas. Kala, Vidya, Raga, Kala, Niyati. Then you got Purusha and Prakriti. So from Prakriti it is Manas, Buddhi, Ahamkara. From Ahamkara it is Pancha Jnana Pancha Karma Pancha Tanmatras, Pancha Mahabhutas. So all this. So Sri Chakra is the representation of everything. So the 9 chakras, Moola Prakritibihi, the specific Shakti in this 9 chakras. Moola Prakritibihi. So when you say Moola Prakritibihi, they are the basis for the manifestations. And this is how the Shiva and the Shakti tattvas are joined together at the level of the individual. And the Moola Karanam is what? The Moola Karanam, Tava Sharana Konahi. Tava Sharana Konaha. Tava Sharana Konaha. When they Sharana Konaha, it represents the Bindu Sthana Mantra Kona. It is Bindu Sthana Mantra Kona is Tava Sharana Konaha. Tava is your Sharana Konaha. And you become the Moola Karanam for the birth of the universe. You become the Moola Karanam for the creation which is unfolding from the Bindu. So Moola Prakritibihi Tava Sharana Konaha. So Prabhinnabihi. When you say Prabhinnabihi, see Prabhinnabihi means something which is different. With 4 Shiva and Shakti chakras, which are different. Prabhinnabihi Nabhihi Shambhoho. Shambhoho is Lord Shiva. So the Shakti chakras are different, Shiva chakras are different, they are interlocked together, and that is Sri Chakra. And the Sri Chakra represents the complete universe. And that's how you visualize the samashti and also at the level of the individual as 9 dhatus. So Chatush Chatvarimshat. When I say Chatush Chatvarimshat, Chatush Chatvarimshat Sharana Konaha Parinataha. So when you say Chatush Chatvarimshat, it is 44. We know there is a 43 interlocking triangles. If you add the bindu, it becomes 44. So those 44 angles are the place of refuge for the sadhaka. You can also say that there's a 44 tattvas. As I said, tattvas, it depends upon how you count it, how detail you go. It also represents 44 tattvas, parinataha, all these forms. Api, when you say parinataha api, all these forms, this samashti comprises of 44 tattvas. Sardam bhavanti, combined. Sardam is combined with, bhavanti means becomes. So the grouping of the triangles, see, there's a grouping of triangles from the innermost to the outermost. See, there is a bindu, right? The bindu is the central point. And the bindu is you can look at the bindu as the first or the primary source or the primary triangle which represents Shiva and Shakti, bindu. Then there is an innermost triangle which is Kamakala, which is the inverted triangle surrounding the bindu and pointing downwards. That is Sarva Siddhi Prada or Kamakala. So you got a bindu, you got the innermost triangle, then you got Ashtakona, which is the 8 triangles. Then you got inner 10 triangles, which is also called as Sarva Rakshakara Chakra. 10 innermost triangles. Then you got the 10 outermost triangles. Then you got the Chaturdashakona, which is the 14 triangles. So you add all this up. 1 bindu plus 1 Kamakala, 8 Ashtakona, then the 10 inner triangles, the 10 outer triangles, and the 14 triangles outside. So all this together is equal to 44. So Chatush Chatvarimshat is 44. That's how you count it. And these triangles are further enclosed by an 8-petal lotus, a 16-petal lotus, and 3 circles, which is called as Trivalaya. Valaya means circle. Trivalaya. And finally, the Bhupura, which is the outer square. So this comprises the entire Sri Chakra. Trivalaya, Bhupura, and the 44. Starting from Bindu. So Vasudala Kalasha. See, when you say Vasudala and Kalasha, they both mean one and the same. Both means petals. Dhala is petals, and Vasu stands for 8 petals. And Kala stands for 16 petals. Kalasha is 16 petals, and Vasu stands for 8 petals. So the 8 petals and 16 petals. And these are also known as Ashtavasus, who are the Devatas. And hence the word Vasu there, because Vasu stands for Ashtavasus, 8. And Kala also means, see, Kala is the phases of the moon, which we discussed, isn't it? 16 phases of the moon. So Vasudala Kalashra, 18 and 16. So fundamentally, this shloka is giving the description of the Sri Chakra. So Vasudala Kalashra, 3 Valaya. 3 Valaya is the 3 circles, the 3 Rekaha, 3 Rekabhihi Sardam. 3 Valaya, 3 Valaya, 3 Rekabhihi Sardam. Sardam means along with. This means your 44 angles of refuge is formed with all of this. And the Devi's abode is formed of triangles, three corner. So this is the description of the Sri Chakra. Trivalaya, three rekabhihi sardam. The Shiva chakras are Shikantehi, which are facing upwards. And 5 Shakti chakras known as Yuvatibi Panchabihi are facing downwards. Totally 9 triangles. Mula Prakritibihi. And these triangles originate from the Bindu which is in the center. And the triangles are surrounded by lotuses. And there are 8 petal lotuses, which is surrounded by 16 petal lotuses. 3 concentric circles. And there is a Bhupura. Tava Sharana Konaha, Tava Sharana Konaha Parinataha. There are 4 openings on each side of the square enclosure. Parinataha. All along with all these forms. Parinataha. And this is how you visualize the Sri Chakra. So this particular shloka is the visualization of the Sri Chakra. So the 3-dimensional Sri Chakra is called as Meru Prastaram. Meru Prastaram is the 3-dimensional Sri Chakra. Prastharana also means a seat. So when the Sri Chakra is 2-dimensional, it is called as Bhu Prastaram. There is also an Ardhameru. When you say Ardhameru, the beginning avaranas will raise, whereas the later avaranas will be in the same plane. They're called as Ardhameru. So Meru Prasthanam is Purna Meru, which has all the avaranas. So if you go to the Kanchi Kamakoti Peetam, you will see Purna Meru. Then if you go to the Kamakshi Amman temple in Kanchipuram, it is Bhuprasthanam. See, when you say Kamakoti Peetam, what do you mean by Kamakoti Peetam? Kamakoti Peetam is the end of desires. So it is that seat of Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada which signifies the end of desires. Kamakoti Peetam. So the Sri Chakra is also known as Meru Prasthanam, Kailasa Prasthanam, Bhu Prasthanam, based on the mantra Vedas. So Meru Prasthanam is based on Shodakshari Krama, and the Kailasa Prasthanam is based on Matruka Varna, and Bhu Prasthanam is based on Vasini and other Devatas. This is how you can understand Sri Chakra, and there is a Puja Vidhi for Sri Chakra. And there are 9 Avarana Devatas, and these are all described in detail in the Mantra Shastram. So the 9 Avarana Devatas are enclosed in the Sri Chakra, and all the Avarana Devatas are the Amsam of the Mahabindu Tripura Sundari. And the puja is always done on the Bindu. So the Upasaka can worship Sri Yantra, which is made of Panchaloka or silver or gold or copper. And the Upasaka can meditate on this shloka in Soundarya Lahari every Shukravara and Paurnami. This shloka is only for people who aspire Shreyas in life. You know what is Shreyas, not prayers, only Shreyas. And this shloka, when chanted 44,000 times, will lead to Siddhi. So the puja must be done on the Bindusthanam with the Mula Mantra and then meditated upon. And what is the Siddhi about? The Siddhi is about removing all the hurdles which prevent the sadhaka in moving towards the Shreyas. So all the hurdles will be removed, and that is the Siddhi. And the Upasaka will have the total control of the Indriyams, total control of his or her life. And only a person who has got Purva Janma Punya alone will get the opportunity to chant this shloka, the 11th shloka in Soundarya Lahari. So that is the shloka. So this shloka represents the complete Sri Chakra. And this is how you understand it. Right? I spent quite a bit of time giving you certain background, otherwise this shloka cannot be appreciated. So Chaturbihi Shri Kantaihi शिव युवतिभिः पञ्चभिः अपि प्रभिन्नाभिः शम्भोः नवभिरपि मूलप्रकृतिभिः चतुश्चत्वारिंशत् वसुदलकलाश त्रिवलय त्रिरेखाभिः सार्धं तव शरणकोणाः परिणताः. And this is the shloka. So we will continue in the next session. That is enough for today. Om Sadashiva-Samarambham
तमे शिखरे जाते
तमे
भूम्यां
शिखरे जाते
जाते
भूम्यां पर्वतमूर्धनि
ब्राह्मणेभ्यो
ब्रह्मणेभ्योऽग्निरुज्ञाता
अग्निरुज्ञाता
गच्छदेहि यथा
यथा
सुखम्
सुखम् स्तुतो
स्तुतो मया वरदा वेदमाता
वेदमाता
प्रचोदयन्ती
प्रचोदयन्ति
पवने
पवने
द्विजाता
द्विजाता
आयुपृथिव्यां द्रविणं ब्रह्मवर्चसं मह्यं दत्त्वा प्रजातुं ब्रह्मलोकम्
Om
सदाशिवसमारम्भं शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयम्
करुणालयम्
नमामि
नमामि
भगवत्पादशङ्करम्
भगवत्पादशङ्करम्
लोकशङ्करम्
लोकशङ्करम्